experiences.
Yeah, and people usually relate. Remember we talked earlier about the comfortability? People don't want to say things that they think other people might judge. Like you mentioned the dream stuff. And like, I started this podcast off by telling you that's what I admired about you, which is why I'm glad that you continue to do that. Yeah. It's way more interesting because from what you said, I'm like, hey, I can think of something like that. It's like, and then people listening will go like, maybe they won't admit it, but when they hear that, people go like, yeah, I can kind of relate to that. And those are the moments where you really like have a connection. I remember, this sounds stupid, but I remember a guy telling me a story about how he just threw it out as like a joke during a conversation when we're all hanging out at a party about you ever get the wiggle when you pee? Like right towards the end, you're like, oh, like there's a weird wiggle where it's like almost done. Like he had mentioned something about that. And I was like, my eyes lit up. I was like, I thought I was the only one that happened to. Like that totally happens to me too. Where I'm like peeing and then right towards the end, I'm like, oof. Like real quick, and then it's over. And then it's so stupid. Like no one's going out telling anyone that happened. But and people listening to this, if that's happened to you, leave it in the comments. I want to know I'm not the only one. But when he told me that story, does that happen to you?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Sure. So when he told me that story, I related to him, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad he said that because I feel that all the time. But I'm not just going to throw it out there to people. But when people do, it's refreshing, and you're like, oh, you see a different side of them, and you connect better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that, man.
Little personal experiences.
Yeah, that are like, that happens to me. I just never say it out loud.
They're like hidden in our lives. They're like hidden.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no opportunity to talk about them.
Yeah, you don't just come out and say that like as you walk out. Hey guys, listen up. Everyone bring it in.
I was peeing and
you'll never guess what happened there.
End.
Yeah, I was totally peeing and then I wiggled at the end. It's totally strange. Like, yeah, they're gonna be like
little wiggling sensation.
Yeah, did this guy just call me over for this story? Like, you're right. The moments aren't always there, but when they are, and you take advantage of them, really cool things happen. And people go, even if it's something stupid like that, like people just realize like that guy's willing to talk about some real shit at his own expense. I admire that. Who doesn't want to be around someone who they probably are not going to be judged by? Like that's my biggest thing. And I'm someone who cares probably the least. So I can imagine people care more, but I still don't want to be around someone that might judge me because I really want someone to try to understand me. And I gravitate towards those people more. And so to get someone that's understanding, it really helps if you're the one that's understanding first or as well. It really opens that door, right?
For sure. But judgment though is I think it's a fair measuring stick.
What do you mean? Break that down.
I feel like naturally we're constantly judging.
For sure. At all times.
Yeah. But I hope that I'm judging you with a fair stick, you know? Like I'm judging you with the same stick that I'm judging myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm measuring you. I'm judging how much are you standing up in these areas, you know? In a sense. So like I'm thinking about my professors in a way. And like it's exciting to be around them. I know that they're definitely judging me, you know? Cuz I'm a student.
It's kind of their job. They're evaluating you.
Yeah, it's like evaluating, right?
Yeah.
So like the pressure is on, you know? The pressure's on in those situations when you're with those people. But I feel like it's also like exciting, kind of helps you keep your energy up.
Yeah.
Makes for, you know, more like just more meaningful outcomes in a way.
We're definitely all judging people at all times.
Yeah. Like what if we're in the presence of a powerful being, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever acted differently around a certain person and afterwards, like, why did I do that? It's not even all conscious sometimes. Sometimes you're like, why did I, like, that's not how I feel.
We were just talking about that today.
Were we? Wait, I was?
No, me and my partner.
Why do you keep saying your partner?
My partner, Daniela.
People are going to think it was a guy.
No.
Just say Daniela.
Yeah, me and Daniela. She's my partner.
Yeah, partner in crime. There we go.
My partner in life.
PIC. PIL, if it's life.
My pill.
So my pill. She's my partner in life. My pill.
My pill.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys, what were you guys talking about?
We were talking about, because we were listening to the song, and it's like, I think you're somebody else under the surface.
I kind of know it. Who is that?
I forget the name of the song.
Just the tempo, though. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you look like yourself, but you're somebody else. Okay. I don't know. I'm singing it terrible, but
you're good. I think people listening will know what song.
But the lyrics, though, they're like, you're acting like yourself, but you're somebody else under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of breaking it down. And we were talking about like, what is this song talking about? And then we're like, it's almost like the human experience, because I recognize that I do act differently around different people,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm conscious of it. I'm aware of it. So I was saying that I always like make an effort to let my real self shine out with everybody, like my authentic self, even though I'm acting a little bit differently in the presence of different people.
Mm-hmm.
I still try and project my consistent self, who I am. I still project that out, even though it's like altered a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the human experience. I feel like it's a common thing with all of us. Like, we're not going to act the same if our boss is in the room, you know, or if somebody who has importance in our mind of a high stature, whatever situation.
Yeah,
we're
you're
in,
never going to be.
it's going to affect you.
There would just be a bunch of people farting at their jobs. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you do at home, you know what I mean, where you feel comfortable. You
Yeah,
just be like,
you're by yourself.
yes.
You're totally.
That's why I never
Yeah.
liked the invisibility superpower. When people were like, I want to be invisible. I'm like, fuck, no. You would see all the grossest stuff and you would turn into this judgy person.
You're so alone. You would almost always be by yourself.
Well, some people aren't meant for those vulnerabilities to come out. Can you imagine how vulnerable you would feel? What if right now, like God or whoever showed up and said, hey, guess what? I've been filming your whole life, every moment. I'm going to play you some key moments. And it's just you like flicking a booger or like farting or, you know, the things that people do that they don't want to talk about, right? That they all do, or dancing in the mirror after you peed because you want to see if you can dance and it's stupid. Whatever people do. If you could see that, you would feel so embarrassed. You'd feel so vulnerable. People aren't meant to see that. Some moments are meant to be private, right?
Yeah.
So that's why invisibility would be the worst one. People always think of the good parts of that, what you could accomplish, but the bad parts to me heavily outweigh it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about what people do with their time because I don't want people knowing about mine, because it's you need that. So I've never liked that. I've never liked the, but so you're right. Going back to the point
sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it. Go ahead.
I feel like that's why the invisibility, all the movies and stuff that portray that, they're usually darker.
Like the Invisible Man.
Yeah, because they're like intruding on people's private moments and like it gets all distorted. It gets distorted.
Yeah. But to your point of like, you want to have a good relationship with, like, you want to care what people think, but not enough to where you change who you are. You want to care enough that you don't cross their line, right? Like if I just met you, I don't want to cross your boundaries, but I also don't know what your boundaries are yet because I just met you.
Yeah.
And so there's a certain amount of me that I'm going to let out because it's safe. And as I get to know you, I eventually want to be myself. And there's moments where you can take risks. And there's moments where you can be yourself, as long as it's not intruding. And if it is, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, the ability to explain it. Hey, this is just who I am. I know I'm weird. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I get how I would have, but that's just who I am. It comes from a place where I kind of want to authentically be myself. But had I known you cared about that, I wouldn't have done it. Like, I apologize.
Yeah.
That clip you just watched was all right, but this next one, click on the video. You'll see what I'm talking about.